could just sort of hold my hand there and we'll check just the movement there. Yep, that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to put the magnifying glass over this and just check for any contraindications while I've got your hands here. Having the gloves there means that you can guide yourself. So you put the gloves on and you literally just follow that. That takes us back to the shoulder here, shoulder area. Actually, I think on mine it's got the armpit there as well, the lungs and the liver area. There you've got the heart area there that you could go across like this. Hello Melissa.
Hello.
And welcome today. Thank you once again for loaning me your hands to practice on. So what I'd like to do today is first of all just spend some time relaxing your hands and doing a little bit of a check for any contraindications we've got. And then what I'd like to do is just explore a new learning tool I've got for hand reflexology. And we will look at that in a moment and explore that and see if we find it useful in terms of a new learning tool. And if it is, we'll take it further and do a treatment with it and see how we get on with that. Okay, could I just ask you first of all just to move your jumper just up, the sleeves up slightly? That's great, thank you. Okay, so what I'm going to start with, I think, is just talking to you a little bit about your hands at the moment. And obviously we use our hands all the time. Hands hold a lot of stress, and any form of relaxation treatment on them is going to be helpful for our overall well-being. Do you use your hands a lot at the moment?
I use them to kind of type, I guess.
Right, okay, so PC usage, tablets, things like that. Okay, so what I might do then is just do a little bit of relaxation before we go into that. So let's try a few gentle moves on that. So I'm going to start with this one, and in particular because you're using your wrists quite a lot, I think we'll just give them a little bit of a gentle massage, and on the other side as well. And then if you could just sort of hold my hand there and we'll check just the movement there. Yep, that's absolutely fine. And then I'm just going to hold the hand there and I'm just going to rock the wrist slightly. Just gives a little bit of a movement in there, helps you relax that hand. That's fine. Then I'm just going to gently massage these fingers out. Then just a little bit of a stretch in this palm. Okay, so if we just pop that one down. Are you okay there on, or would you like a towel underneath there?
No,
You're okay, all right. Okay. We're going to do the same on this side. Okay, if you pop that elbow up. It's just to help you relax. Okay. Just do that palmar stretch while I've got your hand up like this. And then we'll just gently massage these just to get rid of some of the stress. Right, okay, and while I've got this hand here, I'm just going to put the magnifying glass over this and just check for any contraindications while I've got your hands here. Okay, just got a little scratch here. I don't know if you can remember where that's
I'm not really sure where it's
from. Okay,
from.
that's fine. It's not open or exposed, so you know it's not going to interfere with a treatment at all. A little patch of dry skin here, which I think we've come across before. So what we might do towards the end of the treatment is have a look at that again and see what we can do. Let's just turn this over, see if there's anything on any of these fingers. No, I think we're all okay with that hand, so just relax that there. Let's just check on this one. Yeah, no dry skin there either. Okay. That's absolutely fine. I'm just going to have a quick look at nails while I've got your hands here. No, that's absolutely fine. So what we're going to do today is something a little bit unusual. This is not a learning tool I've used before, but I've used something very similar for the feet, but not for the hands. And I came across these and thought they were such a good idea. So let me just show them to you. These are gloves, which are let's do the left and right. And this is really to help you understand where some of the main reflexology points are. But with you wearing the glove, you can actually see. It makes it just easier for you to do some self-massage. There's self-massage in terms of self-reflexology. So having the gloves there means that you can guide yourself. So you put the gloves on and you literally just follow that. The one thing that you might need to look up is some of the reflexology techniques if you want to do this yourself, or you're doing it on your partner maybe. You may just want to look something up in terms of some of the techniques, and I will show you some of them today. So the next thing is to actually get you to pop these gloves on, and we'll do one hand at a time. What I've got to help us, because this is a new tool, it's not a learning tool I've used before, I've got my reference manual that I use for reflexology with some very visuals to help really understand that. So if I'm not quite sure, and this doesn't depict what I understand where the reflex points are on the hand, I've got a backup reference tool, and that's something useful to have just there. You're thinking, not too sure where this should be. So having this here as a reference point for you to back up that information is always handy, especially if you can find something that's quite visual. We're only going to look at the plantar view. There is a dorsal view for this as well, which is the top of the hand, but we're only going to look today at the plantar view. But if you wanted to and explore it further, you could look at the dorsal view. And unfortunately, these gloves don't have that.
Okay.
Maybe there's a niche in the market to invent some reflexology gloves as a learning tool that have both sides on. So should we start with the left hand, and we'll put the right hand to that. So you're putting it on like that. Yep, in like that.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Yes. Upwards like this.
Yeah. So if you can see on the picture, it's mirroring that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes it nice and easy.
Okay.
And what's good about this is you know, you can literally just follow that. And if you were doing it yourself, you could see how straightforward that would be. So we're just going to follow this round. Now, obviously it's difficult for me to do this, so I'm going to do my best, but normally when you're treating you would be going up this way, but I'm just going to point to where some of these things are. Try and resist the temptation to do all the various moves, but I might just show you some. So for example, the spine, which actually goes up the side, you can see it in the reference book here on the blue there. So you would do something like this little caterpillar move, go up the side of the thumb there. So at the top of the thumb here, you've got the sinuses, then you've got the head that you would massage, the neck, the thyroid there, you've got the stomach just inside, then along here you've got the eye and the ear. Now you can see, funny enough, it is a little bit different on this one actually, where you've got the eye and the ear slightly higher up on my reference book, so I think you can just massage the whole finger there. And then the sinuses, you can see, are in all of these fingers, so you would massage those all down with your little caterpillar move there. And the eye and the ear we've done, and here you've got the lungs. Here you've got the shoulder. There you've got the heart area there that you could go across like this. Got the spleen down here. And then the solar plexus that you would do a sort of hook move, a little bit of pressure in there. Then you've got the kidneys going down to the bladder, and I think on this one here we've got that is actually the ureter tube there. And then you've got the colon, which you would massage that way. You've got the small intestine behind that you would massage over. And then here I think they've put together the genital glands. Okay, so on my reference point it's got the uterus or prostate going over to the fallopian tube going over to the ovary and testes. So a little bit more detail on my reference point there, but basically you would go across that. So I think it's useful to have that tool as a reference point just while you're learning, and then obviously once you've got the hang of where everything is, you would just take the glove off, and then the techniques which I've suggested you look up, because there are a few of them, you would then apply those. But you could do it from this way up on yourself. So for example, if you did the spine, you could go up like this in that, using that caterpillar move. The solar plexus, you could go in and do a hook move like that. So it just works, actually. It's quite useful. So probably getting a little bit hot in there.
Yeah, they're actually quite cozy. Yeah.
Okay.
It felt really nice
Like
when the touching and the pressure.
Oh, okay. That's useful to know, actually. Maybe we'll get you to do it on me one day. Okay. So I think we're okay on this. And then, as I said, well, maybe at the end I'll turn the page over and you can have a look at the dorsal view as well briefly. But if we take these off so you don't get too hot, and we'll just do the same. If you switch over and do the same, they do feel quite nice and silky, don't they?
As well.
Yeah. Mind you, you've got delicate hands, which is why sometimes, or petite hands, which is sometimes why it pulls. Obviously with somebody with slightly larger hands, it would fit them like a glove. Okay, so let's just cover this area as well. I'm looking at the reference one here. I want to really look at this. So spine up here again, sinuses. I've got the word printed here, and as I said, the reference again, slightly higher up. Head, neck, thyroid, stomach area here, kidney, and that's the ureter tube, isn't it? Yeah, going down towards the bladder. And then you would work the colon there, move across the small intestine there. Got that solar plexus where you would do that hook move in there. You've got the lungs that you would work across. So this is the colon here, and then behind that would be the small intestine. Then at the bottom here we have got, we've grouped, as I said, the genitalia together along the fallopian tube at the bottom of the hand there as well. That takes us back to the shoulder here, shoulder area. And actually I think on mine it's got the armpit there as well, the lungs and the liver area. And then, oh yeah, we've done the ear and the eye because we've said on the reference point it's a little bit higher there. Okay, so all of the basics there. That's useful. Matches up reasonably well with this. Obviously you can get a clearer idea from this of how big the intestines are, because this is huge here. Probably a very small area there, although they have got the colon within that, so you'll be working the colon as well. Yeah, so I would tend to work over that whole area, both horizontally and then vertically, and sometimes even diagonally, so that you cover all of those parts in there, and then pick out some of these key areas with some of those other techniques. But as I said, my advice would definitely be to, if you're going to do this yourself, a little bit of research around the different techniques. Okay, so should we take this off? There we go. And what I wanted to do was just show you the dorsal view here. And you can see it has very similar areas, but just on the top of the hand there. So there's nothing that we're missing out. It's just you've got to imagine that it's following around to the other side. And in many instances, you would be working underneath and on top anyway. So you would already be there on that. Okay, how does that feel?
Good, it's fun.
It's a different learning tool, isn't it? So I quite like that, to get some of the key ones in there. Obviously, with reflexology, it's a complementary therapy, so it is alongside, or to be used alongside other treatments that maybe you're using with your doctor. So the evidence for reflexology is quite anecdotal. There are some research activities going on, but the huge bulk of the research for reflexology is still anecdotal, but very heavily anecdotal as well. And that anecdotal versus scientific will carry on for years to come, until a lot more funding is put into looking at the research. But definitely, sort of, if you can use this as a tool to help you relax, you or your partner, and use that to help you find these reflex points, and it works for you as part of your well-being, then that's good. Okay. Thank you for your time.